So as a growing business, learning how to work through your team as you get bigger is critical. Trainings is a really big part of what we're about here. CME, they are leaders at what they do. We started off just taking like a little executive lean course and learn about 5S. Then as we started getting into larger and larger clientele and production volumes, the need for single part flow and the ability to chunk up what you're doing became more and more important.
As the world changes, and especially right now with the pandemic, the labor force is harder to find. It's very important that we have people on board who are trained and working as effectively as possible. The initial impact with CME's help, that definitely is a great way to start. It's the big change is more engagement right off the start. You start to see people more engaged and more passionate and more, grassroots type improvements type happening. So really, the first one is to get the people to buy in and be, embracing what's happening. The financial improvements and, KPIs will improve after that.
The other day, our president was talking about the importance of Gamba walks, to talk to people about the things that they've done. And you see a pride with people who might not have shown that pride before, and in how they've made improvements, changed their space, improved the processes. So it's been an interesting shift to see. We've been on a lean journey for the past few years, working closely with CME. A lot of times people think about lean in production only, but we've been using it in HR. Most of the time it wasn't to save time. For us, it's to make sure that we have all the information that we need. And not just us, everyone has all the information that they need.
One of the big things that we had to do was to transition from batch and queue manufacturing to more of a lean flow. Our inventory levels, we measure our inventory levels, they've dropped in half from prior to running batch and queue to lean flow. Our lead times have reduced by a week or 2 weeks, depending on how much processing is required. And our uptime has increased, I would say, 20 or 30% from implementing lean principles of single-minute exchange of dies. So how do we do quick changeovers? And training our people in those techniques through CME's help, and then letting them loose to say, okay, how do we apply that? How do we apply those techniques in our environment to reduce the amount of time it takes for us to change over from one job to the next? And it's been remarkably successful.
Everyone's rowing the boat in the same direction. We all are speaking the same language. And that is really helpful. You see that pride shift as well, that increased pride in being able to contribute. So of course, all of that leads to engagement.
You get a way more empowered labor force, a way more empowered team, and then you have managers trained to try and pull those ideas out of staff and acknowledge them for bringing them up. And staff feel like they can make a difference, and they come to work and they feel like it's their work now, not just a job.
Lean is a journey, not a destination. It's about pursuing perfection, and I've been using CME for 15 plus years now, and anticipate to continue to use them in the rest of my career.
The nice thing about CME is it's by manufacturers, it's for manufacturers. A lot of the CME team, they're from the manufacturing market. They understand what's going on in the market and what kind of training people may need to stay in the market.